the dog in me.
One must die, chase the cat.
Oh, always a good time here. Good evening and welcome to Posse Presents. Here with me tonight again is Patty Reilly.
Hello, Theo. How are you?
Good, Patty. How are you?
I'm awesome, thanks.
Thank you for joining me once again.
Oh, thanks for having us on.
And if anyone remembers, the last time Patty was on, we were talking about Dice. And Dice is in the house. You can't really see him because he's on the floor and having a good time with his bone. But
He'll peek up.
He'll lift his little head up, and we'll encourage some.
Yeah,
some
we have
time.
some awesome pictures of him as well.
Yeah. So for anybody who's not familiar with Dice's story, Patty, bring us up to date.
Well, Dice went into the Meriden Humane Society at 16 weeks old, and he was there for like 2 years until he was over 2. And I just happened to find him, and I was like, wow, this is a really cool dog. But at the time, they thought he was very aggressive. He wasn't allowed to go to anybody for adoption that had kids or dogs or cats, for that matter. I got John Gagnon involved, and I helped get him evaluated. And then they needed a foster, and here I am. And I want to make it clear.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Well, on the last show, I was very insistent that Dice would never work out at my house.
Yep, that's what you said. I remember.
I have all old animals. He's a 2-year-old. He's crazy. He's unruly. It's just never going to work. Well, I am Dice's foster, and he worked out wonderfully. And I truly underestimated my older animals to tell Dice and put Dice in his place. Dice knows where his place is, and he stays accordingly. So it worked out well.
Sometimes we think one way, and our animals just kind of tell us a little different. Yes. I mean, you did say it wouldn't be fair to bring them in my house.
Right.
My dogs are older. It wouldn't be fair to my dogs. It wouldn't be fair to Dice.
Exactly.
And,
exactly. So how much do I know?
Well, apparently, you know quite a bit because you're doing such great things for Dice.
Dice is coming along. His journey gets better and better every month. He's put on some weight, so he's looking a lot better. He has gotten a lot of discipline. When he first walked into my house, he walked up on.
And he'd never been in a house.
No.
At that point, he'd been from 2 years in Meriden.
Yep.
To John Gagnon's.
John for 2 weeks, and then to my house. And he walked in and jumped right up on the coffee table, and I was like, "Hey!" And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh gosh."
Yeah. I mean, no house manners, no clue.
No
How would
clue.
he know?
No clue whatsoever. The only thing I did have set up was a crate, and he knew what that was. Sadly,
yeah.
He knew what that was, and so he went right to his crate, and then we had to come up with a routine. He's really good with routines. With him, it's imperative to have a routine while he's going through training. But he's trained on the electric fence, so he's doing well with that. I still have a 30-foot lead that stays on, so he usually has 2 collars on. And
but that's a big step in and of itself.
It's
I mean,
huge.
here's a dog who never been on a leash, really.
Nope.
Well, probably.
Well, and people would walk him and stuff. He had some skills. He wasn't totally crazy, but he had very little. Yeah, I mean, and he's only hit the fence a few times, so it hasn't been as bad as I would have imagined. He learns. He's probably one of the smartest male dogs I've ever had. I still think my Tegan, the female, is one of the smartest female dogs, but he's very smart, thick, stubborn, but smart.
Well, we talked about, yes, he's 2 years old now, but he's a very young too. He hasn't had the life experiences.
Yeah, I mean, he
of
never
a 2-year-old dog because he's never been.
You're exactly correct. I mean, he got cheated out of his puppy life, and everything. This has been a great journey, but there's been many challenges. And I don't, dwell too much on it, but there's certain things like me just going away for vacation. I started putting him in John's, and because John's familiar with him and he's comfortable there, yet he started to pace around the runs uncontrollably. If someone tried to cut him off, he would and he would just make a noise. And then, but if you wanted to let him out, he was fine. He's like, "Oh, okay, let me out." He got into this this thing. And so we worked on that, and he got better. And then the last time I went away, he decided that he was going to kennel fight with the dog next to him. And again, it's a form of kennel rage. John, I'm in constant contact with his behavior. And John's like, I've never seen a dog really that's been adopted and comes back to the kennel because he knows he's going to go home.
Well, does he know? That's
but
probably
he may
the
not
thing.
know. And he thinks that it's because he was such a young dog living a kennel life that's why he exhibits these behaviors.
He doesn't understand. I mean, he doesn't have. He's bonded with you.
Yes.
And he understands home now.
He knows what my
And
house is. Yes.
After having been in the kennel for so long, to go back, it's got to play tricks on his mind.
Yeah, I would think it does.
It's got to be hard for him now. A year from now, if you guys are still together, it's not going to be. He'll understand you're always going to come back.
Exactly.
But it's still how long?
Yeah,
have
it
you
really
had him
hasn't been long. I forget when I was on the show last because it was.
It was last year.
Maybe a week. No, I think it's probably been 6 months anyway. About 6 months since maybe April.
I meant to look at it. But
yeah, I forgot too. But it seems like I've had him forever. It's like,
well, it seems like forever ago you were on.
I mean, that's at my house. I've been working with him since last year. So,
right.
But he is coming along. I was surprised he's eating his bone now. He could pop up and say hi at any time.
Dice,
come. Hi. Can you look at the camera? Huh?
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that. No, eat my bone now.
My bone.
He says, I'll show you my bone though, Theo.
You want to come on up? You want to come up with your bone?
I don't allow him on the furniture.
Oh. Look at me breaking the rules.
Well, I'm not saying that he wouldn't get up here. I'm just saying it's funny that there's certain rules for him. Now, my female at home gets to get on the couch, but he doesn't. So with Dice, you have to have a lot of structure. You forget he's a young dog. He has a lot of energy.
It's like he's starting over. I mean, he is starting over.
He is starting over.
At 2 years old, he's doing the things he should have been able to do at 16 weeks old. He should have been going into a home then.
Yeah.
And he
learning the routines and knowing what obedience is and stuff.
So he's kind of like the kid that got left back in school a few years.
He did, but he graduated from obedience class.
Yes,
and he did very well. I'm very proud of Dice. And so he's done that. And we're hoping to go into the intermediate phase shortly, probably in a few months. I couldn't make this next thing, but the one after I'll probably bring him to if he's still with me. But yeah, he's doing really well. He's I don't know. His journey is, it's all up to him what he wants to do and how he does it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's. Yeah, I will tell you when I'm ready. Poor Zach. He's like all excited to bring up the pictures.
Let's bring the pictures.
I know, we're skipping over everything that's in the pictures.
We are. I mean, we could.
He's like, come on.
Yeah.
So, all right, Zach, I'll humor you. Let's bring up the pictures since you're so eager.
Yeah. Now
this was
yeah
Dice back then.
This was Dice. I had showed you. Actually, is there a date on there? Something 2014. I don't have my glasses on.
Yeah, me neither.
But yeah, look how thin he was.
Skinny, ribby.
That was at the
What
kennel.
is it, Zach? March 2nd.
Okay. So that was at Meriden, one of my
young
walks.
And has better eyes than us.
Yes. I agree 100%. I know. And so now he, although they haven't, it's hard to see him. We'll definitely show you before the end of the show what he looks like now. But he's come along.
The happy blurry tail.
This was at my house. He found more tennis balls in my house than I knew I ever had. And he also decided that soda bottles and water bottles are a really cool toy.
Well, they put them in toys now.
The water bottles?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
They have like stuffies over the water bottles, and you can just keep replacing the water bottles.
I have not seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, see? Thank you, Theo.
He's ahead of the curve.
Look at that. I told you he was smart.
Yeah, he's going right to the source. He's just grabbing the bottles.
I told you he was smart.
They like the crunchy sound.
Yeah, it's the sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. He loves his bones. He loves toys.
Yeah, he's doing a good job on that.
Yeah.
So what do we have next, Zach?
And
Look at that
that's
face.
Dice. That's at my house when he first came to my house.
And this is him now.
And that's him now. Look at, there's no ribs.
Yeah, he's definitely.
He's filled out, and
He's buffed up.
he's buff, and he's doing really well. He is very obedient. He he goes out with the other dogs. He's very good. I mean, we talk about the dogs. He's incredible with my dogs. They ruled. They made him number 3. He went, I'm good with that.
Yep.
Well,
they established their pack order.
They did.
And
it didn't take much. I mean, John was right. He is not dog aggressive at all. He understands the communication of dogs very well. He also, I have 2 older cats at the time. I just lost one about a month ago, but they were older, and he just loved the one that just passed away. Maggie was his favorite. He was like kissing her all the time, and he would never chase her. It's like he's had cats his whole life. He was really good with the cats.
Yeah. And what are the chances he was really exposed?
I don't think. Well, in Meriden, the cats scared him in Meriden because he would have to walk down a hallway that was all cats, and they'd be like,
oh.
And so he'd be like, oh. So it was interesting to see, but he was good with the cats, and so far, I mean, everything that he had against him has come full circle, and he's doing very well with both.
That's awesome. What else do we have there, Zach?
Oh, this is his graduation certificate from obedience, so I didn't lie. He did graduate. And he did really well. I mean, he did really well. We thought because of his...
and he's an honor student.
He is an honor student. I know, not that I'm not proud of that.
Yeah, right?
But it was kind of funny because they thought we would have more trouble because he is a little unruly at times. And they're like, we're going to sit you by the timeout room because that's where, you'll probably have to be in there a lot with him. And he didn't go in at all. He didn't go in at all. So he did really, really well. I was pretty proud of him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he's come so far.
He's done really well. He's done extremely well. And I see him just going more and more places as he gets exposed to more things. I've been very busy this summer doing a lot of stuff. So it's been kind of sad that I haven't had the time to get him out more. But you get him out somewhere, he gets acclimated and he's fine. He's been out to parks. He's been out to dog parks, regular parks. Today I brought him a little bit early down here and just walked him around, and he barked a little bit at a few people, and he got over it. That was it. And I'm like, the times are getting shorter and shorter and shorter for him to adjust, which is good.
What do we have next, Zach?
There's the crew. Tegan, Jake, and Dice, and that's pretty much the pecking order too. So.
And that has nothing to do with going in order of size in that picture.
No,
right?
no, that's how they line up. And again, Tegan, Jake, and Dice. So, yeah, it's pretty funny.
And they all get along just fine.
They all get along really well. The only dog that went after Dice was Jake, which I was a little surprised. But he, out of nowhere, went after him. And one of the first days I had him, and put a little mark on his thigh, and that was it.
Been peaceful ever since.
Been peaceful ever since.
This is my house, and you'll listen to me.
Yes, and to the point that, I can walk in and ask Dice to give me his bone, and he's like, no, I don't think so. One of those 2 dogs walk in and say, I think I'd like that bone. He's like, hey, it's yours, and he runs into the kitchen. You can have it. And this is the crazy household, and that's Dice with Maggie on the couch, and Tegan, and I think, is Jake in there? I don't know. I think he's in there. But, yeah, that was, to depict it, Dice does hang out with the cat, He's like, no problem.
Yeah, there doesn't look like there's any, tension there.
None. No tension at all. He had no issues with the cat. The only thing Dice likes is food.
He's very food motivated.
Very food motivated. Every day he comes out of his crate, in the morning, because he sleeps in there at night. He likes it. People argue both ways, but he likes the crate.
That's where he feels safe. I mean...
Yeah. And he bounces out of that crate every single morning, searching every nook and cranny in my house for food.
Crumb.
And I'm like, you just did it before you went to bed. I don't know what's happened, you know, unless someone's eating and I don't know about it.
Yeah,
but,
right.
So.
What else do we have, Zach?
Now, we've talked about dogs, we've talked about cats, and now apparently we can talk about kids. I was really, really impressed with Dice. This family got in touch with me, they actually would visit. Dice was their pound puppy, and they would visit Dice, the mother, the father, and the little girl, Maya, and so when I got Dice, I found out my email was messed up, but they actually got in touch with me and asked if they could see Dice.
Oh,
and they're like,
they used to visit him in
They
Meriden.
used to visit him in Meriden, and I said, geez, yeah, let's go. So we went to a park in Glastonbury, and I held my breath because Dice was bolting out of the car, and he just jumped into the guy's arms, and the guy's like, buddy, and Dice was licking him, and I'm like going, and the little girl, you could see the little girl was all over him. She hugs him. And yeah, I mean, what a perfect picture. I mean, they truly, truly love that dog, and that dog truly loves them. I have never seen Dice so happy. It was the first time I've actually seen him happy.
And they're not
not
open to adopting him, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they would take him in a second, but they got their own life going on right now, and they have a couple dogs, and but they definitely want to stay in touch with Dice. They think he really is in a way part of their family, and so they will probably always keep tabs of Dice, and which is a good thing. And they're just nice people too. They're very nice people.
And who knows, maybe something will change.
You never know what changes in the future. But I was so happy with this. This little girl's like 4 or 5 years old, and she's hugging Dice, and I'm like, well, this is how far this dog has come. Apparently, they've had a relationship over the years, but would Dice act like this with every child? I don't see why he wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, he's got obviously the experience, and as long as a child was as good as this one.
Yes. The parents were very good. Good point. The parents are very insistent that the little girl know how to treat dogs and how to be around animals. And Dice is that kind of dog that you have to be somewhat educated, even at that young age.
Right.
You don't.
Well, he's not that big, but he's very strong.
He's extremely strong. Yeah.
And he whipped me across the room here. Yeah. I mean, okay.
He did.
Yeah.
Well, he's like 70 pounds, so it doesn't look like he's 70
like a freight
pounds.
train.
Yeah,
a freight train.
He's just a big boy, But I was thrilled with that. We've had at least one other person that was interested in adopting Dice, and I'm open to everybody that wants to check Dice out. It's a plea to adopt Dice. No, but we're very careful because of his background that the right people get him.
Yeah.
We want, the people that have come forward have been very nice people, very
just
very
not
nice.
Necessarily the right situation. For him.
The situation's just a little questionable, and you don't want to take a dog like this and then just throw him into a bad situation.
No, you don't want to set him up to fail.
Exactly.
Zach, do we have any other pictures in this lineup? Not yet.
No, we're not ready for that.
All
Hey,
right,
guys.
so we'll take the camera back.
Yay, we're back.
And what do you see in a home for Dice?
Well,
other than yours.
I know. See, you got me really good with this too.
Yeah.
I
just gonna make it really hard.
I'm gonna say he can't do this, he can't do that.
Dice's list of rules
by
Patty.
Everything that I have said about this dog, he has definitely went the other way on. I told you, let's let him be careful and this and that, and here's cookies and this that. He comes down, he's like, hey Theo, how you doing? No big deal.
Yeah.
He proves me wrong every step of the way. So I'm not even sure I'm the right person to ask. Well, I mean, I'm the only person to ask, but
yeah.
What do I see for Dice? That family there was wonderful in the sense.
Yeah, let's insert the little heads of the next family.
Yeah, let's put the little But someone like the father, Denny, was very firm with Dice, but fair with Dice. I've learned with Dice that you have to be fair with him. I've learned a lot of things. We have not had an easy road. We've had our arguments per se.
But he's a teenager, basically. You're gonna.
Yeah, and I don't, I've never raised a dog like this. I've never had a pitty, so they're a little bit different. And
but they're so wonderful.
They're wonderful. They're absolutely loves. I would say one word to describe Dice is forgiving. That would be the word I would use for this dog. He is extremely forgiving, and that's important, and that's a really good check mark in his book. But yeah, I mean, a family like that, a single family,
Older
couple,
children, probably.
I would say older children, but children that are educated in dogs. You know, I have land. He likes to run. You know, he needs exercise. He's young. He needs to burn off energy. He does go to daycare once or twice a week, and that's for 12 hours, and he runs for 12 hours. And by the second or third day home, he's like, okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So it doesn't even really slow him down. He's got a lot of energy.
He's got a lot of making up to do, too.
Yeah. But it's, I think, you know, his market is getting bigger. The more I expose him to, he's got a bigger market.
Absolutely.
You know, and doing shows like this, coming down, getting him exposed to everyone here in the studio, is nothing but good for him. And so we're back to the same. Somebody who does a trail, somebody does, you know, does a lot of hiking.
Pull him back just a little bit because I think he's getting close to stuff there.
Come here, bud. Come on,
He's moving across the floor.
No, I don't want your bone. Here.
Dicey Dice.
There he is.
Don't you want to say hi to people on TV?
He's wagging his tail. There he is. Good boy. Back to my bone, he says. Let me see.
I just want the bone.
Oh, good boy. Can I have that? What a good boy. Now, we would never be able to do this.
No.
A couple months ago, never happened.
No.
Never happened. Now, good boy. Yes. Now he's very good about it. So he comes along, and he has his days where he may not think that that's a good thing to do, and we work through that. But, you know, he's, again, a work in progress.
And aren't we all? You know, that's not a fault. We're all a work in progress.
No, I do think Meriden has stood by my side with this dog. Anything I've asked, they've come through with. Gagnon has been there. This really has been a group project. You know, I'm not trying to throw out names, but it has been a group project. And
no, well, you know, that's that whole "it takes a village" thing.
It does take a village, and it has.
And this was a big thing for you.
This was huge for me, and for him, his whole life changed.
Yeah.
His whole life changed, and he's like,
because of you.
Well, thank you. Yes, but he changed my life too. So,
yeah,
it's a good thing, you know.
But he didn't change your life in a bad way.
Oh, absolutely not.
You know,
no.
With each animal, I think we learn and we grow.
Yeah.
And we bring that experience to the next level, to the next animal.
I think you have to.
And he's, I'm sure, taught you lessons that
unbelievable.
You'll take with you for the rest of your life.
Oh, definitely.
And
into the next dog, and into the next cat, and into the next everything.
Whether he ends up staying with you, or he's
stop,
or
he's a foster dog.
And there's what's that? Foster failure.
Foster failure.
Failure.
But, good boy.
You know, whether he ends up with another family. I mean, it's all because
his future.
You took him to that place.
Yeah, and again, it does take a village, but he's going to go where he's going to go. His future's he's going to make his own future. You know, he gets better and better every day, and that's all I can ask of him.
Dice,
come here. Hi, Dice, come.
Come here, good boy.
Dice, come. Come on. There, you can say hi to Dice. It's like, wow, I'm really on the furniture.
Do you want to see the people on TV?
How are you? Want to see TV?
You're sharing your bone now, or not so much?
Well, he's back chewing his bone.
Yeah, he's maybe a little camera shy, but we've got a few minutes left, and you have another little story to tell.
Well, I lost Maggie a couple months, about a month ago, and my little kitty, and I just happened to be on Facebook, and I don't know how I got this post that came through, and it was for a little kitty named Sally who had mammary gland tumors, and she was in the what's the name of it?
The ACC?
Yeah, and it was.
You said it was like a death row.
Yeah, it's Pets on Death Row, and it's out of New York.
So it's
and they don't give you a lot of time. And now I'm someone who's somewhat familiar with rescues, and I looked. I said, "Geez, that kitty shouldn't have to die." And they give you like just a couple hours. I mean, you don't have very long. And I was like, I didn't know the system. I didn't know anything, and I tried that whole night. It wasn't yesterday, it was the day before, to get that kitty. And I put on the thing that I would take her, and someone did come, an advocate came on and tried to tell me what I should do and where to go, and I did that, but sadly it was too late, and poor Sally got euthanized. and it was really kind of sad, considering she really would have had somewhere to go.
Right.
But
all is not lost.
Well,
I mean,
all is not lost, because I did
Zach,
see.
let's see Lily.
I did see this little face. I was ready to walk away, and when I looked on the website, this was for yesterday's euthanasia list, and this was the kitty, and her name is Lily. And I said, you know, why waste her?
Yeah.
So I put in, and of course now I had been talking with the people who can help me, and I believe they saved her. I'm still being looked at my adoption approval, and it is like an interview process for a job, and so I haven't heard, but I'm
As far as you know,
hoping.
she's been pulled.
As far as I know, I've asked. They never responded. They just said you're slated for Lily, but that was it. So hopefully Lily will be mine in the near future.
And that's awesome. Good for you.
And yeah, it's a good thing. But I do want people to note that you can look on that website if you're looking for a cat or a dog. And I couldn't look at the dogs because I was already crying with the cats. So I couldn't go to the dogs. And I don't know. I'm sure they have other animals as well. But, but
unfortunately, it's a killing factor.
Yeah. And it's sad. It's a part of rescuing that I have apparently avoided, but I got a little taste of, and it was not fun.
No. So we'll wish you the best, and you'll have to give us the update when Lily does get to you.
I will. I will. Thank you, Theo, for having me on.
Thank you. We'll take the camera back, Zach.
It's back. That is the neatest thing.
Yeah, isn't it though? Dice, do you want to make one last little TV appearance?
Dice, come. Boy. Dice, come. He's like, no, I got my bone. Okay, come.
Can he sit and give you his paw?
Can you see him give me his paw? Dice.
Before we get our credits and we get yanked off the air?
Sit. Sit. Paw. Good boy. Well, he's a little excited now. Other paw. There we go. Good boy. Thank you.
Boy. Alrighty, so I guess we're about that point where we're going to say peace,
love,
and dogs. She got it.
Well, I'm getting better at it.
Alrighty, well, we'll say goodbye.
Bye.
And thank you
Theo.
again.
Thank you.
And thank you, Dice. What'd you say, Zach? Oh, good. Now we have 20 seconds. Dice.
Dice, come. Come.
Come on, big boy.
Go boy.
Oh, big
there
boy.
he is. Come. Come on. Come on. Go boy. Come on. Up. 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 Up.
What up?
You never get to do this.
I know.
You never get to do. He's like, what are you making me do?
Bye.